Think you've seen enough of the weirdest couples in the world already? Think again. There are relationships that leave the world stunned, skeptical, and even disbelieving that they actually exist. From seemingly impossible pairings to love stories that defy all conventional norms. All of them will make you ask, is this real or just a joke? In today's video, we'll explore 10 of the most shocking couples you won't believe they actually exist. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to see might completely change the way you view love. If you found this content interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us and not miss the next exciting videos. And now, let's get started. Kyle Jones and Marjorie McCool became the focus of attention on social media and international media due to their relationship with a significant age difference, sparking both curiosity and debate. Kyle Jones is a young American man known for openly dating women much older than himself. Among them, Marjorie McCool was one of his most notable partners, attracting particular attention. She was a very old woman, while Kyle was young, creating a generation gap that made it hard for many to believe their relationship was genuine. What made this story shocking wasn't just the age difference, but also the way they expressed their views on love. Kyle once shared that he was attracted to the maturity, life experience, and worldview of older women. Conversely, Marjorie McCool also stated that this relationship gave her a sense of being cared for, having companionship, and not feeling lonely in life. However, as the story spread widely, it generated mixed opinions. Some argued that this relationship went against conventional social norms and was unlikely to last. Meanwhile, others supported the right to love freely, believing that only those involved truly understand their feelings. Despite the controversy, Kyle Jones and Marjorie McCool's story is still cited as a prime example of unbelievable but real relationships, prompting many to reconsider the definition of love and the limitations of age. In a story that sounds like something out of a movie but is entirely true, Brittany Dean and Brianna Dean, identical twins, met Josh Salyers and Jeremy Salyers, another pair of twins, at the Twin Festival in Twinsburg, Ohio. Remarkably, after only about 15 minutes of conversation, an almost fated connection emerged. Brianna quickly took a liking to Jeremy, while Brittany was drawn to Josh. Everything happened so naturally that both pairs felt as if they had known each other for a very long time. Soon after, Josh and Jeremy planned a joint proposal. Remarkably, they not only chose the same time, but also prepared 2 identical rings, and in a moment of surprise, both Brittany and Brianna said yes. A year later, they held a joint wedding, making their love story one of the rarest twin relationships ever known. Currently, the 2 couples live together in Virginia and run a wedding venue called Smith Mountain Manor. Their lives are not only intertwined emotionally, but also blend seamlessly into their work and daily lives like a unique family. What makes this story even more unbelievable is that in 2022, both couples welcomed sons around the same time. Brittany and Josh's son, Jet, was born in January, while Brianna and Jeremy's son, Jax, was born in April. Although legally only cousins due to the unique genetic structure of the 2 sets of twins, the 2 children have almost identical genes, making them look like biological brothers, an extremely rare phenomenon in genetics. Now, Jet and Jax are growing up together under the same roof, not just as cousins, but as true brothers, creating a one-of-a-kind mirror family. Although living under the same roof can bring about many differences, both couples believe that the secret to maintaining happiness is respecting boundaries and not interfering in each other's conflicts. For them, love is not just a strange coincidence of fate, but also a long journey of understanding, connection, and building a special life together that few people in the world have. In a world that places too much emphasis on appearance, Godfrey Baguma's story prompts many to reconsider how they perceive others. He is a humble shoemaker from Uganda, but from a young age, he suffered from a rare disease that caused his appearance to be distinctly different from those around him. This made life difficult. Judgmental stares, gossip, and ostracism became a familiar part of his childhood and adulthood. However, instead of giving up, he persevered, living and working, gradually overcoming social prejudice. The turning point came in 2002 when he participated in a competition and unexpectedly won a controversial title. While public opinion was divided, for Baguma, it was an opportunity to change his life, earn more income, and better care for his family. But what changed his life wasn't just fame, but love. He met Kate Namanda, a woman who didn't let appearance dictate her feelings. From the beginning of their relationship, they faced opposition from their families and social criticism, with many believing their differences were too great for the relationship to last. Despite this, Kate chose to stay. She saw in Baguma sincerity, warmth, and the way he treated her with genuine respect and love. This is what made her ignore all the prejudices around her. They began building a life together, supporting each other through many years, and had children. In 2013, Godfrey Baguma and Kate Namanda officially married, marking a significant milestone in their journey of overcoming social prejudice. Afterward, they continued to raise their children and build a family together. Although they still couldn't avoid the scrutiny of others, their relationship grew stronger over time. Later, Baguma also shifted his focus to performing arts, becoming a singer and comedian, turning his differences into strengths in his career. Their story serves as a powerful reminder that love is not determined by appearances, but by understanding, respect, and acceptance. And sometimes, it is precisely those things that were once considered differences that create the most enduring love. Joseph Williams was born with a rare medical condition that caused his face to develop differently, particularly lacking a normal jaw and chin structure. From a young age, he faced numerous difficulties. Eating was impossible and required a feeding tube, and communication relied on speech-to-text technology. Despite this, Joseph never let his circumstances limit his life. He strived for independence, working at a warehouse, and gradually building his own life. It was at this workplace that he met Vana, a colleague who would later change his life. Initially, Vana admitted she was quite surprised by Joseph's appearance, but instead of being swayed by her initial impression, she chose to get to know him better. The more she interacted with him, the more she realized that behind his unusual appearance was a warm, humorous, and genuinely sincere man. From that mutual understanding, their friendship gradually blossomed into love. Vana wasn't attracted by his appearance, but by his personality and the mental strength Joseph displayed every day. After spending time together, they decided to take their relationship further. In 2020, Joseph Williams and Vana officially married in a simple yet meaningful ceremony, without extravagance or fuss, just a commitment to each other. In their daily lives, they still face curious glances from those around them. However, that has never affected their relationship. For them, the most important thing is not how others perceive them, but the respect, understanding, and love they have for each other. Their story becomes clear proof that love is not limited by appearance or circumstances, but is built on the connection between two people. And sometimes it is precisely these differences that help two hearts find each other in the most genuine way. Ganga and Jamuna Mondal are conjoined twins from India, known for their extraordinary lives and captivating story. The sisters possess a rare physical structure with 4 arms, 3 legs, and a shared torso, yet each has a separate heart. They worked in a traveling circus where they faced much of the scrutiny, gossip and social isolation. Their lives gained more attention when they formed a relationship with Yasemuddin Ahmad, a teacher they met during their performances. According to many sources, both sisters grew fond of him and gradually came to regard him as an important part of their lives. This is what caused their story to spread, as it defied conventional norms regarding relationships. Initially, many were surprised to learn of their story. But looking deeper, this is not just a rare phenomenon, but also the journey of two people who have endured years of being perceived differently. They always longed for attention, understanding, and finally found someone willing to treat them with respect. Their relationship shows that feelings don't always follow familiar norms. They can be complex, different, and sometimes controversial, but they still reflect a very human need for connection and acceptance. The story of Ganga, Jamuna, and Yasemuddin is therefore not just an exceptional case, but a reminder of the value of empathy and understanding in life. Zelmyra and Herbert Fisher were a couple from North Carolina who held the Guinness World Record for the longest marriage ever confirmed. They were together for 86 years and 290 days, beginning on their wedding day, May 13, 1924. When Herbert Fisher passed away in 2011, their story was remembered as a rare symbol of a marriage that lasted nearly a century. What was special was not only their time together, but also their shared experience through major historical upheavals such as the Great Depression, World War II, the Civil Rights Movement, and a period witnessing pivotal changes in American society, including the election of the first African-American president. Their love wasn't based on ostentation or extravagance, but rather on enduring companionship in their daily lives as time continuously brought changes and challenges. It is this simplicity yet unwavering commitment that gives their relationship its special value. In their recorded accounts of married life, the advice they offer is always simple yet meaningful. Respect each other, always support each other, communicate honestly, and remain faithful. They also emphasize that marriage is not a confrontation, but a journey together where both partners strive towards a shared life. These seemingly simple things have helped their story endure through time and become clear evidence of a lasting love. What remains is not just the record-breaking number, but also patience, loyalty, and the choice to be together through each stage of life. Linda Dusharme is one of the most intriguing names when it comes to unusual romantic stories because her partner, Bruce, isn't a human, but a giant Ferris wheel. Her story is widely known as a case involving objectum sexuality, the phenomenon of forming emotional attachments to objects. According to published records and articles, Linda first met Bruce in the early 1980s at a festival. From that moment, she said she developed a special and deep connection with the Ferris wheel. This relationship gained even more attention when Bruce was damaged in a storm and subsequently removed from the festival grounds. Linda is said to have been deeply saddened by this, and years later, when the Ferris wheel was found in a junkyard, she had the opportunity to reunite with it, making the story even more unusual in the public eye. In 2012, Linda was mentioned in a symbolic ceremony described as a wedding to Bruce in Florida. The story then spread further when it appeared in documentaries and was mentioned in media content such as My Strange Addiction. Several international sources also reported that she expressed a commitment to her partner, making the story a widely debated topic on social media. Despite being controversial and perplexing to most, the story of Linda Dusharme and Bruce is often cited as an example of very different forms of connection in human life. It is both strange and shocking, but it also makes many people think about the limits of emotion and how people seek connection in life. Gary and Mandy Jones are a couple from Staffordshire, England, known for their choice to live in the style of the 1950s. They met and bonded over a shared passion for rockabilly music and vintage fashion, and over time, they decided to make this retro style a permanent part of their married life. Their home was renovated to evoke the spirit of the 1950s, from the furniture to the decorative items, all carefully selected to recreate a bygone era. In their daily lives, Mandy maintains activities such as cooking, sewing, cleaning, and dressing in vintage style, while they share a love of dancing and attending antique fairs, where they find joy and a shared connection. What makes their story noteworthy is not just the outward appearance of their lifestyle, but also the fact that they believe it has helped improve their relationship. Initially, many found this choice strange, but at its core, it's a rather practical approach, changing their living environment and habits to refresh their emotions and strengthen the bond between them. For Gary and Mandy, living in a 1950s style wasn't just a preference or aesthetic taste, but also a way for them to nurture their marriage and find joy in simple things. Despite sparking controversy, their story shows that every relationship has its own path to survival and growth, and sometimes it's precisely these differences that make it more enduring over time. Paulo Gabriel da Silva Barros and Katyucia Hoshino are a couple from Brazil who were recognized by the Guinness World Records as the world's shortest married couple, with a combined height of 181.41 centimeters. Paulo is 90.28 centimeters tall, and Katyucia is 91.13 centimeters tall. Their story began in 2006 on the social media platform Orkut. From their first conversations, Paulo developed a liking for Katyucia, but it took some time before she reciprocated. They maintained contact and built a close relationship over more than 2 years of online communication, primarily via email, before officially meeting on December 20th, 2008. Just 9 days after their first meeting, they decided to begin a romantic relationship. Despite being in a long-distance relationship for many years, they persevered in staying in touch and arranging regular meetings until Katyucia moved in with Paulo in January 2012 in Itapeva, São Paulo State. They married on September 17, 2016, and their marriage was officially recognized by Guinness World Records in November of the same year. In their daily lives, Paulo, who has had mobility limitations since childhood, now uses assistive devices, while Katyucia works in the beauty industry. Despite facing considerable social scrutiny and prejudice, they have always supported each other. Katyucia once shared that the most important thing is not appearance, but love and connection between two people. Their story thus proves that love is not limited by physical appearance or circumstances, but is nurtured by understanding, patience, and long-term companionship. Thank you for watching the video. If you found this content interesting, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Your support is my motivation to continue creating more great content. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.